Hello and welcome to GNO, that's Gaia Night Online, and this is where we come together as a community, or just me, and pull cards for the week ahead. And we have a few sick people. Shannon and Paige aren't feeling so well, so send them some love if you can. So I'm going to be pulling some cards. Maybe somebody will join us, but I'm going to pull some cards for the week ahead. So we are starting out with this moon in Cancer moon, bringing up the feelings, emotions. You know, there's a grand trine in water that really heightens the emotions. And for the goddesses, for this Cancer moon through Wednesday, I pulled Arikira, blossoming, which is so appropriate because that's what flowers do when the water comes. So it says you're just getting started. Have patience with yourself in the process. Don't give up. And so it's just like, I said this actually in the horoscopes this week. The grass isn't greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. So maybe there's some flowers, maybe your own personal flower needs some tending to, but be patient with its growth and its growth, not its gross. It's growth and it's blossoming. And decided since it's just me, I'm going to pull from my old faithful Osho tarot deck as well because love these cards. Oh, and two popped out. All right. I pulled understanding and I pulled schizophrenia. And so understanding, I think that's fairly obvious. You know, with the Cancer moon, people are going to be having their own feelings. You got to allow them. This, bird is flying out, shedding. Yay!
Hi.
Hi. Just pulling for the Cancer moon. So this bird is, shedding its feathers, letting go, flying out. So if there's, if you have somebody in your life who needs to shed, let go, be understanding for that. And then also for your own process. And then I think the schizophrenia card is great for the moon in Cancer because it's like, all right, you may be feeling and thinking conflicting things. This happens, you'll find the bridge, you'll find your way. See these birds, there's more birds flying out up here in the corners.
Uh-oh. I don't know if I lost her or not. I don't know if everybody else lost her or it's me. So let me check. It was Mimi that went out. Okay, so the Cancer moon, if you all can see me, is the card I got is the Ace of Swords. So this is what I get. I get from the Ace of Swords that we have to get our thoughts together and that you might actually get a really phenomenal idea. And if you do that, hi Mimi.
Hi.
I thought it was me, so I didn't say anything. I was like, okay, so I jumped off and then jumped back on. But it was yours this time. If it's not one thing, it's another. I don't know what is going on.
I don't even know.
So I picked, I was starting to say, I picked the Ace of Swords for the Cancer moon. And what I get from this is this is usually a card of a grand idea, but I'm kind of getting things a little differently on this one, especially going off of what Mimi said. So what I'm getting is that if our emotions are getting the best of us, it's really bringing those thoughts into center and bringing them into one. Allowing yourself, really directly being in your center. And a meditation that I do for my clients when they feel very scattered is I have them imagine that there's a pole almost that is magnetized in the middle of their body, and they're pulling themselves back in towards that magnet. So it's pulling all your energy, all this energy that's, you know, scattered all over the place. Maybe you're thinking about a person, so it's a little bit over here. You're thinking about that. You want to pull it all together and really become peaceful right in the middle.
I really love that. I need to do that right now. All right, so Cancer Moon goes all the way through Wednesday, and then we shift into Leo Moon. And I love this. Decided to pull them just together. White Tara and conditioning. And the thing about the Leo Moon, Leo represents the inner child. So the White Tara card is about sensitivity. And it says you're becoming increasingly sensitive, avoid harsh relationships, environments, situations, and chemicals. And this, to me, is saying, hey, you know, take care of yourself the way you would take care of your child, you know, and let yourself be your inner child. Avoid anything that would be harsh for your child. And I think this is really funny. This card is actually conditioning with Osho, which is a lion in the sheep. And so this, again, is very appropriate for the Leo Moon. It's like, hey, don't hold yourself back. You don't have to behave like the sheep. You know, let yourself be free. Let yourself be the lion you are.
So here's kind of a funny, I pulled two cards. So I have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. And now the Page of Pentacles usually is this practical-minded, young energy. Well, if it's upside down, it's saying, you know, don't be so practical. And the second card I got that goes along with this is the Knight of Wands. And so we have this fiery, I always see of this almost kind of like a Leo energy. Like he has the big foofy thing on his head, and, you know, it's such the mane, and he's coming in. And so, you know, sometimes we want to be practical, but you might want to splurge on yourself, splurge on your inner child, and really do something that makes you feel fun. Maybe join Mimi and I and go to Disney. You know, we are definitely celebrating this energy. We're going on that. He even looks like he's on a carousel. So it's like, do something that's going to make yourself feel in touch with that inner child and really embrace some magic this Wednesday.
Cute. I love that. All right, so the Leo Moon takes us all the way through.
Speaking of Leo.
I know.
I know. What good you?
I didn't think you were coming because you weren't feeling good. I made everybody send you good energy. So that's why you're here, because Paige.
That's definitely why.
All right, so we're about to pull cards for the moon shifting into Virgo Friday night, Friday, Saturday. So for the moon in Virgo, which will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I pulled Lakshmi, Bright Future. And I love this card. It says, stop worrying, everything's going to be fine. I love this card because Virgo can be like very concerned with what's going on. So it's like, hey, don't worry about what's going on. Be in the moment. That's the essence of Virgo. That's the high level of Virgo, is to be in the moment. And along with that, I pulled Osho, the master, which Osho's all about being in your body. Be in the moment. So perfect little.
He reminds me of the Hermit, which the Hermit card the Hermit card in astrology is Virgo.
Except Osho is a Sagittarius and very much not a hermit. But he looks like it. Who wants to go?
So I've got so this is interesting. This usually means coming into yourself in a different way. So taking a leadership position a lot of times. But I really like this leader because this leader, he's sitting on his throne, but he still has his gear on, his night gear. So he is a man that goes into battle. So this is something is really taking your position in a leadership position. But it also doesn't mean that you're not going to go and do the work as well and not just be the dictator. This is taking a leadership role of leading by example. So how you want people to be in the world, that's how you need to act. Instead of going into judgment, go forth, as who you want to be. And I love this Virgo-ness of this, because what you act in reality is what you're going to get back. And this is all about coming differently into your reality and acting differently in your reality.
Love that. All right, Paige, Virgo Moon.
I have access to no cards, so I'm just hanging out.
Oh, you're just hanging out. Cute. Thanks for joining us. Love that.
She's holding space.
Yes, thanks for holding space. Leo, she's Leo, Virgo rising, so she's, covered 2 of our things. All right, and then the next is Neptune is going direct. Neptune's been retrograde for a long time. I was going to look up when it went retrograde, and I didn't. I can't remember. It was back in like the spring. I remember when Shannon and I talked about it. It was back in the spring. So it's been retrograde for a while. Neptune is going direct Saturday evening. And so Neptune's, responsible for our spirituality, can be kind of karmic. It can bring on past lives. I love the cards I pulled. For the goddesses, I pulled Unag, easy does it. It says there's no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect timing. And Neptune is really about, like in your spirituality, having faith, holding that space, allowing that flow. So Unag is saying, hey, you have to be like, oh, there's things I have to do. And then I really love the Osho card that I pulled for it too. I pulled Osho the Dream, which is the Lover's card. But Osho talks about it being the dream that we really have, when it comes to our lovers. It's really about us wanting to connect with spirit. So, give yourself some time, Saturday, Sunday, connecting with spirit. Feel that oneness with spirit. Pisces, Neptune wants oneness. They're the 2 fish that wants to merge into one. We are one with everything. And when you connect to spirit, when you meditate, you have an opportunity to be in that space of oneness.
Well, it's really interesting because Neptune is already very dreamy energy. And so that's a perfect card. And I had a jumping card. I have the 4 of Cups, which also is kind of very funny. This guy's like meditating by a tree, and he's looking at his reality, but God is coming forth with a cup right in the air going, okay, if you meditate, I'll give you a gift, instead of just looking at your reality. So again, with the dream, pay attention to your dreams. That's what I also got from Mimi's card, is pay attention to your dream, do a little extra meditating, and see what comes through, because it's a really good time as it comes direct that you might get a reconnection to some intuitive messages.
Awesome. All right. So then next thing up, on Sunday, Venus is shifting out of Scorpio and into Sagittarius.
Yay!
Okay, so Venus in Sagittarius cards. I pulled Diana, focused attention. It says, keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target, and you will make your mark. And I think that Sagittarius is the archer. And, Sagittarius is the sign of infinite possibilities. And so it's like, hey, what are you wanting to bring in? What are you wanting to bring in romantically with Venus? What are you wanting to bring in relationship-wise? Keep those focused intentions. And with Osho, I love it because it's the card existence, which is like the magician card. So it's basically like, okay, you can manifest this, but I think this card also reminds me, again, of infinite possibilities. Just by your being, it's infinite possibilities. So if you want it, keep that focused intention, and let's see what happens with Venus and Sagittarius. I'm excited.
Well, speaking of infinite possibilities, that's what I got, was the world, which is also infinite possibilities. It's the world. It's the whole thing. In some decks, it's the universe. So you got the first of the deck. I got the last of the deck. So, in as the first of the deck and the last of the deck, there's a, death kind of rebirth kind of a thing. So it started at the beginning, but if it's circular, it doesn't really matter, And I see that in the world a lot. But also I see this woman who is totally stripped of everything, raw, like really who she is, and then all these little things around her. She's kind of like Mimi said, infinite possibilities, infinite choices. So it really is starting, and I love the Sagittarius energy. And so, it's really expanding yourself of what you believe in love. Maybe getting outside of what you used to think love should be and expand your belief structure here. And really maybe date someone that you never thought you would date. Date outside your stereotypical type. Do something a little different. Mix it up. You might find that it will turn out to be everything you wanted and didn't even know it.
Love that. All right, so we went through the week, and I figured let's do a little roundup, like just for the week as a whole card. So my goddess card for this week, the week energy as a whole, is Ishtar, and this card is boundaries. Love yourself to say no, enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy. And so, you know, I think that pretty much sums it up. If there's a boundary you need to set down, this is a good time to do it. I think with this Pluto-Mars conjunction that came today, you know, kind of set this in place. And Venus and Saturn are getting together on Wednesday. It's a good week. Like, if you need to say no to others' demands, be willing to put it in. And then what comes along with this, I love this, is the New Vision card. So, you know, when you close those doors that aren't working, when you close, you know, put those boundaries in, newness has room to come in. And again, I love it. It's like the archer again, even though it's not really arching, it's that kind of shape. And so it's like saying, hey, here come your infinite possibilities. So that's my card roundup for the week.
My card roundup is the Temperance card in reverse. So this is an interesting card. I love when it's not in reverse, but when I get it in reverse, a lot of times it says that maybe we're overindulging, and so that we might need to like pull it back a little bit. Whether it is, you know, drinking or partying or just kind of overextending yourself, you maybe temper that, pull it back a little bit, and make sure that you're taking care of yourself, make sure you're nurturing yourself, and make sure you're drinking enough water. It's also an important thing to get maybe a little sunlight, ground to the earth, and make sure you're really connecting, because this Temperance card could throw you off if it's in reverse. It could, you might not be nurturing yourself well enough, and so that is kind of what this tells me.
Awesome. All right, well, those are our cards for the week, and so now we're going to go pull cards offline for each other, but thank you for joining us, and I encourage you to join us next Monday, and, you know, for more information about the different astro every day, check out the daily horoscopes. So, namaste.
Namaste.